The following video is not suited for children. I've been trapped in this labyrinth for a month now. All I remember is being on the wing of Ben's plane. The next thing I knew, I woke up on the floor in this horrifying place. I've tried breaking through walls and climbing through windows, but no matter what I do, I just end up back in this bloody house. And the worst part, I'm being hunted. Something truly horrifying is after me in this house, and they won't stop pursuing me until they get me. Creatures created out the darkest corner of our minds, manifested and made flesh. Vile demons that prey upon the weaknesses of solemn men and drag their minds into insanity.
Oh, senpai.
Oh god, they've caught up to me!
Please, Will. We only want to get you snuggles.
The horror, the malice, the insanity. It's...
Senpai!
Monster waifus! You'll never take me, you soul-eating delusions! Yeah! I think I got away for now. How did these things come to be? Who could have planted the seed that germinated into these terrors? You. I know what I must do. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for some nostalgic trauma. I think you all know what Scooby-Doo is. Made in 1969 on a budget tighter than a skeleton's corset, Scooby-Doo very quickly became a children's TV icon. After the show took off, the writers got a little bit carried away and wrote stuff like the new Scooby-Doo movies, and that featured cameos from such characters as the Harlem Globetrotters, the Addams Family, and Batman and Robin. By 1980, many of Hanna-Barbera's shows, including Scooby-Doo, were starting to get a little worn out. So in 1987, they started doing a series of TV movies based off their shows as a sort of soft reboot. This included the Jetsons, Yogi Bear, the Flintstones, and of course, Scooby-Doo. One of these films was aired in 1988 and would act as the catalyst for many deviant artists around the world to start creating their own monster characters. I am of course referring to Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. The film sees Shaggy, Scooby and Scrappy all face the most terrifying thing a man can conceivably think of. Monster girls. Yeah, it might seem all innocent and friendly here, but all it takes is for one lonely kid to get a crush on the ghost girl, and before you know it, they're pumping out art of their fantasy relationship with a cartoon phantom. This is how we ended up with monster waifus. I watched this film many times as a kid and I managed to fend off the madness, but we've lost too many good men to their imaginary girlfriends. I need to figure out how to get rid of these monsters chasing me and get the hell out of this pit. Maybe this has the answers I'm seeking. There's only one way to find out, so sit down, grab a snack, and brace yourself for some nostalgic trauma. The film opens with Shaggy, Scoob, and Scrappy driving down a rainy road in their knockoff mystery machine. To make it even more terrifying, Scooby breaks the fourth wall almost instantly, clearly showing he has no interest in the events to come. And Shaggy is wearing a red shirt too, so you know it's going to be good. Shaggy has taken a summer job as a gym teacher at a girls' finishing school, with Scooby and Scrappy tagging along with him.
Like we're looking for Miss Grimwood's finishing school for girls.
Oh, that's right next door.
Nope.
They arrive at the school, and after a little slapstick, we get to meet the head teacher, an annoying dragon, and Master Hand from Smash Bros. Shaggy is reminded that he's under contract to not be a coward for once, and reluctantly agrees to meet the girls attending the school. The first one to show up is Dracula's daughter, who's always talking like she's trying to seduce you despite the fact she's like 14 tops. Next is a young werewolf that howls all the time for no reason. Then...
Hi, I'm Elsa Frankenteen.
Frankentine? Why? It's because Frankenstein's monster is copyrighted, isn't it? Damn you, Universal, and those bloody copyright laws! Just let me use the word Frankenstein so we don't have to jump through hoops like this. Anyway, they next meet a phantom that likes to play the organ. and finally somehow find an Egyptian tomb in this house that's home to the thing that crawled out of my used tissue bin. Shaggy and Scooby naturally think they're going to be eaten alive by these things, but the teacher reassures them that the kids are harmless. Turns out Shaggy was hired to teach the girls how to play volleyball so they could beat the army kids next door in a game for once. The next day, Shaggy and Scoob are woken up via slapstick to teach the girls some ballet while the army kids next door spy on them. It seemed innocent watching that moment as a kid because they're army kids, spying on the enemy is what they do. But now, well, that innocence is gone, isn't it? We're introduced to the army boys and establish the fact they're a group of jerks, as well as the fact they beat the Ghoul girls every year in their annual volleyball game. Back at the school, Shaggy takes the girls out for a jog that ends up in the garden, where it turns out some evil witch is spying on the girls. Something about taking the girls to make herself more powerful? Look, it's Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, keep your writing expectations low. In the meantime, the colonel in charge of the army school comes over to organise the volleyball game, mostly so the writers can emphasise how weird this school is supposed to be. The game is organised, leaving Shaggy with only 1 hour to get the girls ready, and is this a volleyball anime? Like, all that's happened is Shaggy and Scooby trying to get some girls ready to play a game of volleyball, and even then that's hardly focused on. We're 30 minutes in and nothing has happened outside of puns and the girls making annoying noises. So it is a volleyball anime. Anyway, the girls are practicing shrieking exercises, because ghouls, and get ready for the match, ending the warm-up session with a swim around the school moat. The fact that a vampire is swimming around a moat in broad daylight seems to make me think that the writers were playing a little fast and loose with the source material. We're reminding there's a watch witching just as the army kids arrive ready for the game. What happens next is the most thrilling volleyball game I have ever seen in my life. An Oscar-winning performance from all characters involved that ends on an emotional apex that cannot be topped by any other movie. I am moved to tears every time I think of this scene. It's just so good that I can't put it in this review, otherwise I'd make everything else on YouTube look like garbage in comparison. But long story short, the girls managed to win the game by not only using teamwork, but the power of unity and friendship too. A truly glorious moment in cinema history. The girls return to the school along with Shaggy and Scooby ready to celebrate their victory. Shaggy and Scoob decide to stay and enjoy the festivities, and the film ends on a warm note of friendship, unity, and looking past our differences.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
You think you'd be that lucky to escape from this film? We're only halfway in. Oh shit!
Please, Mr. Broken Leg. I just want to suck a little bit of your blood. And maybe something else.
Damn it, how do they know I have a thing for vampires? Can they read minds? Oh, this isn't good. Aha! The horny sword, banisher of all that is horny. Right, you harlots. Are you ready to face your reckoning?
Will-chan!
Stay back. Back! To horny jail with you! Anyone else?
We'll get you soon, and soon you'll love us.
And stay out! So anyway, to celebrate the girls winning the game, the teacher holds an open house for the girls' parents, who turn out to be the monster created by a certain mad doctor whose names I cannot say because I don't own the sodding rights to it. A man that is also part wolf, Dracula, a mummy, and a phantom that happens to like the opera. Shaggy and Scooby are naturally pissing themselves in terror as they try to hide from the sudden influx of characters that just scrape the bounds of copyright. They get spooked by the Spectre, chased down by Dracula, frightened by Totally Not Frankenstein's monster, and manhandled by a mummy. Turns out, of course, that the monsters mean no harm and just want to thank Shaggy and Scoob for helping their kids win the game. We get a few minutes of what I guess classifies as wholesome father-daughter bonding, mostly just the dads checking in on the girls and the girls giving them gifts in return.
Your daughter would like to play her latest composition for you.
Once the party is over, all the monster dads head off home, but not before taking Shaggy and Scooby aside and threatening to smack them if they don't keep their daughters safe. In the meantime, the witch lady watches on, still plotting her scheme. She sends out a spider bat that flies over to the school and hypnotizes Shaggy, telling him to take the girls to a nearby bog so she can kidnap them. The next day, everyone piles into the van and head off to the bog, where it turns out the army boys have also decided to spend the day. The girls go for a jog when My First Yif gets left behind and chased by Mike Wazowski.
This looks like a great place to hide.
The vampire tells Shaggy that the furry has gone walkabout, so everyone starts looking for her. Frank and whatever and the tissue gremlin run into the army kids as they get stuck in quicksand and decide to help them out. Meanwhile, the ghost girl gets abducted and Scooby gets chased by the annoying dragon. I know I've not shown too much of it on screen, but trust me when I tell you this dragon is a dick. Anyway, Scooby has a run-in with Mike Wazowski and is saved by the dragon, so there's that going on now. While Vampire is fending off some bats, Copyrightenstein and the living Bogrol get grabbed and taken away in the shed flies. It's got 4 brooms sticking out the back. What is this film right now? So that flies off and Vampire gets gotten and Shaggy is left realising he's in deep shit if he doesn't get the girls back. They ask the army kids for help, but because they're still salty about the volleyball match, they decide not to help. The gang follows the flying shed to the evil castle and catapult themselves inside. Indoors, the Spider Witch reveals her plan to turn the kids evil and basically make them into her minions so she doesn't have to do the housework anymore. And the reason she kidnapped the kids was because the older monsters are old and worn out, and why am I explaining this like there's any significance outside of evil woman does evil thing to kids? The gang heads into the castle and we get a pretty standard Scooby-Doo affair. Monsters appear, everyone runs around a bit, funny moments happen, monster buggers off. The gang eventually get caught and thrown into a well with a monster while the army kids have a moment of self-reflection and decide to go help the monster girls. Scrappy distracts the well monster with a ball and they climb out because they guess the writers couldn't think of a better reason to occupy the gang for 5 minutes. The girls are about to be brainwashed when Shaggy and Scoob crash in, stopping the ordeal. Some ingredients get knocked into the potion along with the witch's wand, which causes the whole mess to become unstable. Witch says it's going to explode, and just as a single strand of tension begins to build, the army kids arrive and drop a ladder to rescue everyone. The witch and Mike Wazowski try to get away on broomsticks, but they just get zapped by something or other. Whatever, the girls are saved and we're back at the school where everyone's partying and Scrappy is rapping. Get out of here, Scrappy! You're no Biggie Cheese. There's no replacing Biggie Cheese. Anywho, after the teacher informs Shaggy that some more students are coming, Shaggy says sod that and decides to find a better job. The gang jump into the knockoff mystery machine and set off into the night, hoping they never have to be in another one of these fever dream movies ever again. So that was Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Have you ever found something like a toy or an old pair of clothes that bring back old memories, but you're not sure whether you like them in the first place? That's what this film is. Nothing happens in this film that's worth talking about. Nothing stands out, nothing interesting goes on, it's just a Scooby-Doo episode with no intrigue that's been stretched to about an hour and a half. The plot feels like it should have been 3 25-minute episodes, but it was all slapped together and stretched out into a movie. The amount of small details that were put in and never paid off make it feel like a cobbled together pilot for a show that was never made. Which, fun fact, it kind of was. A spin-off show set in the Ghoul School was in the works shortly after the film, but never quite made it off the ground. It did, however, serve as the basis for the short-lived Gravedale High, but that was canned after 13 episodes, so it's likely the show wasn't going to be very good. Probably because the characters were so annoying. Shaggy and Scooby were fine, so Shaggy can get the Goodest Boy award. Scrappy was about as likeable as Scrappy always is. The teacher did nothing, the little dragon was a dick, this octopus came out of nowhere, the tissue gremlin was cute, I guess, Frank and Thingy annoyed me, the ghost wouldn't stop cackling, the dog wouldn't stop howling, and the vampire girl talks like she's flirting with you despite the fact she's like 14, and it only gets weird the more I think about it. There's no solid narrative. The film just happens. It's basically the part of a Scooby-Doo episode where Shaggy and Scoob go off on their own to make a sandwich, but it's like an hour and a half long. Those moments were enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but not when that's all the episode is comprised of. Seriously, a film like Thunderbirds or Sonic, I could write a paragraph on each scene, but here while making notes, I've just brushed over most scenes because there's nothing of substance to make notes on. On the other hand, I do see the appeal of this film. There's enough good puns to prevent me from turning it off, and I wouldn't mind if my kid watched it, but that's how the whole monster girl thing starts. You get a crush on the ghost girl when you're 7, and before you know it...
What's so bad about us, huh?
Dag!
We just want to love you.
No, I shall not give in to you!
Aw, but I just want to wrap my tail around you and give you a big warm cuddle.
Don't tempt me!
And I have so many arms. I could give you amazing massages.
That sounds nice.
And we won't judge you for that embarrassing dance you did in the school talent show.
Thanks. It's one of those embarrassing memories. You know, the ones that you lay in bed awake thinking about despite the fact you were 6 and didn't know better? Wait, how do you know about that? Unless, hold on, I've never told anyone about that dance, and yet you know about it. The illogical layout of this house, the fact you know my embarrassing secrets. This is all in my head. I'm trapped in a repressed memory that's causing you all to exist. And so, if I want to escape the memory, I need to destroy what caused it, what caused you. I need to destroy the film!
So, you're finally awake.
Ben? What's going on? Why are we in the hospital?
Don't you remember? We were on my plane and... Hey Will, you ever seen inside a storm cloud before?
No?
Would you like to?
Oh, hell yeah! Go, 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 go. It was worth it.
Say, you alright, man? You were asleep for a month and the whole time you were twitching and mumbling about monster girls or something.
Oh yeah, I was trapped in a labyrinth with several monster girlfriends chasing after me. They all wanted to give me hugs and cuddles and stuff. It was weird.
And you chose to wake up in a hospital bed, rather than stay in that dream being pampered and loved by cute monster waifus?
Well, you see, when you put it like that, no, it was because, fuck! Hey, thanks for watching. I just want to give a huge thanks to both Skitty Cat and Angel Core VA for providing the voices of the monster girls, as well as a big thanks to the ever-sexy Ben for providing his voice and some assets too. Also to my boys Exploding Biscuit for the Phantom of the Opera Overture cover, and to my unnamed source of Blender background renders. He doesn't want to be named, but you know who you are. Sorry for the delay in uploads, uni has caught up to me, life stuff, blah blah blah. Check out links to everyone's channel in the descriptions, do the like and subscribe thing, and I'll see you next time.